Okay, I would like to congratulate and welcome Jonathan Bouchard to the Ambassador of the Month for August. Congratulations, Jonathan.
Thank you very much, Jill.
Amazing. So we have an ambassador program, and anybody listening, we'd love more applicants and joiners. We want you to join in, and we do this awesome thing to promote engagement in our community, and that is we all vote on the ambassador of the month. And so you were voted in by your peers, which is so cool and so much fun. How do you feel about that?
I feel extremely proud and I'm happy that the Spartan community and the ambassador program sees that I'm doing a positive contribution to the program.
Amazing. And so you've been doing a lot of videos lately, and I know a lot of the comments, there's a place that you can fill out why you wanted to nominate Jonathan. A lot of it was just being so engaged through videos and social media, and not only just on your own videos, you're the first guy to comment in the group, in the Spartan community and offer some really good advice. So, what inspired you to start doing all of that stuff?
Well, I joined the ambassador program to get out of my comfort zone, and in doing so is to be more open with other people. So that's kind of what I'm pushing towards. Especially, I started a YouTube channel and all those videos of how to train and all that kind of stuff. Really not up my wheelhouse, but I'm trying to just get out of my shell and do something different, and maybe help a few more Spartan racers improve upon their race game.
That's awesome. So you didn't really have a background in content creation. You're just kind of winging it and having some fun
I'm
with it.
winging it. Yep, winging it, having fun, making mistakes, learning as I go.
And I think that's why people enjoy that is because you are just out there putting it out there. You're really just sharing your journey with Spartans. So let's talk about that. When did you start Spartan racing?
I started Spartan racing 10 years ago, and the goal, I was brought in by a friend. The goal was just to do a trifecta for that year. Didn't really know what that entailed. Really hated my first piece, not gonna lie. It took me 9.5 hours.
Oh boy.
Um, and that was at Owl's Head, not knowing which venues were harder or easier. So my first beast was at Owl's Head, which is one of the harder ones in Canada. But now I'm pushing my beasts at closer to the 3 hour mark. So I've significantly improved since, but I've adapted my training as well.
Yeah, that's a huge improvement. So you've been
Yeah.
racing consistently, and obviously, if you've made that big of an improvement, you must be training a heck of a lot. So tell me a little bit about what you do to train.
Yeah, for sure. So I'm running about 300 kilometers a month. At least twice a week, I'm doing either hill repeats or treadmill high incline. I'll do like 8 kilometers straight on the treadmill at maximum incline. And if not, I'll do like today I went to Mount St. Louis and I'll just do hill repeats from bottom to top. And now
So
I'm at
fun.
5 repeats. And I intend before we do our Blue Mountain race to be at about 15 repeats, just to get my legs ready for the beast there on the 21st of October.
Oh my
And
gosh,
if
yes.
not, I also cross train at least 2 or 3 times a week. I'll do some spin bike. I have the old tread climber from Bowflex.
Nice.
It's a good replacement from a stair climber type of deal.
Mhm.
So I've been using that with the weighted vest, and I find it kind of hurts the same as our Ultra and Mont Tremblant. So it's really helping with the leg strength.
Nice. And what did you do before Spartan racing? Were you an athlete before? Because like, how did you jump into all of the training? You must have some background. No?
Um, I had I had background. I trained in high school. They were kind of trying to lead me towards the Olympics, so I had a personal paid trainer, but it was only for 100 meters and 200-meter sprints.
Oh, wow.
Um, but then I quit that because I was a teenager and I'd rather sleep in than actually go train before school. So I did that for about 4 months, and then I was always a good cross country runner.
Mhm.
And then I was just jogging on my own, 5 kilometers, 8 kilometers, maybe 10 once in a while. I've always liked and enjoyed running. So I've
Mhm.
got probably 25 years of actual running in my background at this point.
Oh, that's amazing. So you've kept that somewhat consistent then.
Yes. And I
And
would
so
say since I did my first Spartans, I became more serious and more task specific. I've really incorporated that elevation game because that really changes the whole scenario.
for sure. And when you are training, are you using a trainer or did you just do a whole bunch of research yourself? Because there's a few different ways to go about it. You can hire a trainer, you can follow accounts online, or some people are just huge students and they go learn everything that they can. Which category do you fit into?
So I'm personally a research it by yourself type of person. I read a lot of books. Love the David Goggins books. But there's also the 80-20 book. About 80% of your mileage should be at a low state or low effort versus 20% should be at high effort. I've read multiple books on mountain running as
Mhm.
well. And then there's online research, of course, and I'm on all the Spartan groups, so I kind of just look at what advice people give, and I've just absorbed and taken what I like, and I
Mhm.
just move from there. And after every single race, even today, I've done 27 races now.
Wow.
I'll write notes at the end of my races to say, okay, I need to improve on this. How can I achieve this goal? And I'm just going like that. So formulating a plan and executing it after.
That's amazing. So you're doing your own research on yourself and as well research outside. That is
Yeah.
incredible. And now you're contributing so much to the groups that you were listening to because people
Yeah.
are paying attention to that. Not only people just in the Spartan community group, but also ambassadors as well, because they voted for you for those reasons. So that's just so amazing. What is your favorite part about being an ambassador?
Um, you know what? I think most Spartan racers like to talk about Spartan races. Something I caught myself doing all the time, either with my wife or my kids or coworkers or friends. So
Mhm.
now I get to do it in a more official capacity. I've had an opportunity to go to the info tent, and it's nice to see new racers who aren't really sure what they're getting into. And you get an opportunity to speak with people for a few minutes and maybe give them some tips, some advice on how to pace themselves, how to tackle a certain obstacle to be a little bit more proficient. So I love doing that and helping people. So that's why I joined the program in the first place.
And it's kind of funny when you first join because everybody wants to talk about Spartan and you don't feel like you've just talked about Spartan for too much. So
Yep.
And it's great to see someone like yourself who is a really highly motivated and competitive athlete transfer over into being really helpful with brand new racers. And I think that's what contributes to the community so much is that the high level athletes that we see in age group and in elite, they're all really approachable and they're all really excited to meet new racers and talk to you about Spartan racing and what they're doing as well. So
Oh yeah.
I
Yeah.
think
And the
that's
community
great.
within the elite and the
Mhm.
community within the elite group and the age group, both of them are fantastic. Like you create good friendships racing with the same racers for the entire summer. So it's great. I've made many friends that I keep in contact on a weekly basis.
And that's kind of a thing that happens in Spartan too. It's kind of like it is a place where you go physically and you go do something, but then you have the online community for when you're not at races. So it's a really interesting online and offline community, I find. So, and I think that's a growing thing because technology is so huge and because in the pandemic, we were only using technology. So now we're all just kind of rolling with that and connecting more in positive ways online rather than, being anonymous. So.
Definitely.
Yeah, that's awesome. So, what are there any obstacles that give you any challenges in Spartan for this season, last season?
Every season for the past 10 years, it's that spear throw. The spear throw is a hit and miss. It's 1 out of 2. So you take a deep breath, you hold it. I've watched so many videos on how to do it, where to hold it, how to angle it. It's good. You get on the actual field. Usually it's after a big downhill where you're pushing really hard and sprinting and your heart rate is super elevated. I usually take 10 to 15 seconds to bring my heart rate down and then I throw it, but it's a hit and miss. So, it's the only obstacle I've missed consistently this year.
Mm-hmm.
but every other year as well. So I built myself a spear so I can practice at home.
Oh,
So
good.
at home, it seems to be a lot easier for some sort of reason. Um, but yeah, on the course, it's a whole different ball game.
It completely is. I think you nailed it on the head with the heart rate and the nerves, and they always put that exactly where all of the spectators are, so there's no pressure or anything. And when you're
Oh no.
racing an
And
age
usually
group,
you're,
go ahead, sorry.
yep. And I said, usually you're one or two in your age group or in the elite wave that are there at the same time, and you're kind of stressing, is the other guy going to hit it? Am I going to hit it? And then it stresses you even more when your competition actually nails it. And then you're like,
Yeah.
oh, I can't miss this because you're out of it. You miss it once, it takes you a minute and a half to do that penalty loop. You can't catch back up.
No,
So it's a
especially
lot of stress.
for you guys, the way you guys race, especially in the shorter races, maybe in a longer race, but even still, you guys all stick together. Awesome. You raced this year. You did the trail race. How did you feel about the trail race this year?
It was my first trail race. I signed up on the Friday just before the Sunday when it was on. I had wanted to do the Saturday was my A race. It was a
Mhm.
super 10K. So the trail race was an afterthought, but really happy I did it. A lot of elevation gain after that sprint. I had about 45 minutes in between to rest the legs slightly and stretch and get back at her.
Mhm.
But no, it was really great. Lots of vertical. I thought it was extremely technical. Someone who's not accustomed to trail running could have easily sprained an ankle or broken an ankle. And thankfully, I didn't hear any reports of such. But no, it was a great experience. I hope they enhance the program and we get the trail though eventually in Canada because I would definitely play well.
Mhm. And I know you did the ultra this year as well. You so that was your first ultra, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong. And are you going to do another ultra again?
I've already signed up for my next ultra in 2024 in Mont Tremblant.
Nice. Would you recommend ultras to the crowd?
I would definitely recommend doing an ultra. However, I would build myself there, right? I wouldn't jump from, oh, I did a super and now I'm doing an ultra. I've been doing this for 10 years. I've done beasts every year. I would definitely recommend that you do a few beasts before jumping to the ultra. And when I did my research, really struck home with me is if you can do a beast and at the end of the beast, you feel like you still got gas in the tank, that's when you know you can do an ultra. So that's kind of where I was last year. And I said, hey, I'll do the ultra. And
Nice.
it went really well. I went in. I unfortunately was sick just the night before. It threw everything off whack. My training readiness on my Garmin was at 18% at the start of the day.
Oh boy.
Um, but I pushed through it. Took a lot longer than I wanted. I was aiming for 9.5 hours. I finished in 11 hours, 15 minutes. But no, it was good. And surprisingly, the next day, no longer sick. I must have sweated the whole thing out because I was good for the super and the sprint on the Sunday.
That's amazing. I don't know how you're not the first person that said they were sick the night before. I don't know how mentally you can go and do it because it's just so hard being completely healthy, well fed, well slept. But I guess Spartans, you just do it.
We just do it, right? You dedicated so much time to training. You've been training for that specifically for at least 6 months, so you don't want to throw that away. So yeah, you just get to it. I think the first 15 kilometers, I wasn't enjoying myself as much.
Hmm.
But then you just get in the groove and you just do what you got to do and then you just focus on, okay, what's my next obstacle, and you just focus on that and not on the whole 54 kilometers you have in a few, right? So
Yeah, exactly. So how do you
yeah,
fit it all in with, I know you have a job, with the police. Is it OPP that you're with?
yeah, I've been
And then, and then you have three
policing
kids.
for I have 4 kids.
Four kids. Oh my
So
goodness. I missed one.
yeah, so I have 4 kids. Those are actually busier than the job itself. But yeah, no, you got to prioritize what you want most, right? So I make time for the family. obviously I've got mandatory time. I got to go to work. So I just put my running around it. And a lot of people are like, I don't know, understand how you make time. Well, there's many mornings I'm up at 4 a.m. and I'm running before shift because I know that if I wait after shift, after 8 or 12 hour shift, I'm not going to be running
Oh my
afterwards.
gosh.
So I just wake up early, I run then, and then I get home, put the kids to bed, and basically I'm going to bed as well, watch TV or something.
And make all that Spartan content for the ambassador program.
Yeah, those are on days off usually.
Yeah, and when you're really driven to do something, you really just get the things done that you're interested in. So one last question before I ask you what's next, and that is, what is your favorite obstacle on the course right now?
Yeah, so the favorite one is the rope climb. I've always been very proficient. It's a challenge of strength, but I like it. I get to do it. I don't know the J hook and the S hook. I don't do those. I just muscle right through right at the top. So that's my favorite obstacle.
Nice. Yeah, that's a really fun obstacle. A lot more challenging when you're just using arms, though. All right. And what's next? Where are we going to see you? And will you be in the info tent anytime soon?
I'm going to Blue Mountain. I'm doing the trifecta weekend, so I'm going to be really pushing hard for that beast since it's a national series championship. Hoping to get first. We'll see what happens. I know all my competitors will be there as well because it is a national series championship. So
Hmm.
it'll be a very competitive race. And then the next day, I'll have the super and the sprint as well. So, and I do enjoy the that Spartan has made the sprints open now. So you
Yeah.
don't have that added pressure of, okay, I got to perform a third time in a row. It kind of
Yeah.
makes it more, I feel like I can enjoy my race a little bit more because I'm not competing against anyone except myself, right? So I really like that little addition we received this year.
Yeah, I like that too. I like maybe running with someone who's brand new to the sport as well, that kind of thing. And also, it's such a different perspective when you're not doing it competitive, especially if you're from a competitive background. If you've always done competitive things, it's a great idea to do open as well if you don't normally do that. So.
Exactly.
Amazing. Okay, well, we will look for you for that race. And I think all of your kids are racing too. So it is now a Spartan family. And we look forward to seeing what you do with the ambassador program going forward.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Joe.